83 is how far... Actually, this is actually a pretty good question for where we are right now. How far is your character willing to go to pursue the greater good? Do they believe in a greater good at all?
No. Absolutely not.
Is that a note of the believing in a greater good, I assume?
Correct.
Yep. I am 100% with Miles on this.
Alright.
Look, everyone is a selfish bastard, and Maz is no exception.
Preach, sister, preach.
I think, like, I'm Honker sees the circus as, like, that's the greater good, right? Sharing, like, happiness and stuff with people in that way. And that's who I'm Honker is. And so, if they couldn't do that, I don't know, maybe they would just not exist anymore. Like, Honker exists to be in the circus. So I think they're willing to, walk through fire for it.
Oof.
Damn. Alright.
Grotus believes in greater. He's not so much on the good and bad and evil thing. And the greater is, riding this magic carpet till the threads come apart. Tell you what. Just grabbing life by the haunches and, making it love you. And then burning out. But he does have, like, the ride or die. He has, like, face tattoo circus people. So he has, like, some sense of, like, loyalty and heritage to that. And doesn't really believe in, like, nobility or dignity, but he does, in whatever respect there is, he does believe there is, like, nobility, something pure and worth exploring in performance and thrills.
Okay. Alright. Good stuff.
I don't see him in character selection. Though I know what his level up stuff's going to be. He's going to deflect arrows and fall like a cat.
Oh, he is there. Let me see. Can I assign ownership? No.
If you freed him up, sometimes you have to close the
window. Yeah, I reopened the window. There he is.
Ah, there we go. Now I see you grabbed him. Sweet. Alright, so you guys can get that stuff all sorted away in there. Alright, so while that's going on, does anyone remember what you got up to on our last little session here?
No, I slept.
You did?
I have some notes from the last time I was in.
Okay. Well, I know since you're getting your character sheet sorted out, I can remind us of a little bit. So, you guys, had gone to the Hermitage, and through much trial, managed to clear the place out of the people who were left, who mostly were either already dead or had been corrupted by whatever sort of demonic influence had overtaken place. You did manage to rescue that one wolf that was in the process of being turned through some sort of ritual, who has become a companion to Braz, which I'm sure we'll get into more later on, which is cool. But you guys did also manage to rescue Harlock, who was the kind of head of the Hermitage, friend of Mayor Aber, and he as of yet had not been corrupted, but they had kind of taken him captive and were trying to do so. But he had explained to you all that there was a ancient orb at the top of a tower in like the middle of this island that you guys are on. That has been there for eons, and it was supposedly, blessed by the gods at some point in the past to, give abundance and fertility to the land around. But for some reason, in recent years, it has begun to fail, and the ecological balance of the island has been getting a little fucky, which, has led to some frustration by the people who live here, and then also those who want to try to find a culprit, such as, Nemia, who you guys had dealt with at the very beginning of the adventure, who seemed to think it was the people of Aberton's fault and decided to do an eco-terrorism on them and you. But he had been investigating this orb, had tried to explore the tower as much as he could, but there had been some sort of group that had moved into the tower in like the recent month or two. Some sort of strange lizard folk. He had never really seen them before, but they seemed to have some sort of demonic things with them as well. And he hasn't been able to go back. And, since then, things have only gone downhill from there. There was a new visitor to the Hermitage who brought some new ideas and fucked everything up there. And and he implored you to, please, for the sake of everyone here, you guys seem to somewhat have your shit together. And, if you could investigate the tower and try to find out why the orb is going down. You guys did make it back to town. I know you guys have gotten like beaten up pretty bad. We've recuperated. You guys have talked to the mayor about the situation, and he agreed that it would be really great, for the sake of the town and for the people who live here and their livelihoods, and for your own. You're here on the island at the moment for now. It'd be good if you went and checked that out, because they don't really have the means to do so, because their meager police force of a sheriff is dead. He got disappeared and killed by Nemia. And it's kind of up to a bunch of clowns to be sent in. And
I don't know, man. That seems like a them problem.
well, for now, for tonight, it is a bit of a them problem, because y'all need to eat, and so does everybody else who is in the circus with you. And it has come around that time for the circus to put on another show and perhaps try to lighten a bit of this dark cloud that kind of looms over Aberton and the Isle of Arran as a whole.
If we are an example of having our shit together, what the hell kind of people are they associating with?
An excellent question.
Real quick.
Yeah.
We need to back up like 30 seconds. How long you been sitting on that sending the clowns joke?
I just came up with that out of my ass like right now.
I give you one player point.
One DM inspiration point. Great. I have a hero point to use. Cool.
Spend it wisely.
Spend it wisely. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah. So yeah, it is. You guys did do. You also did do a little bit of like some advertising around town, some performing and stuff last time, trying to rile up excitement for the show. You guys did manage to generate some, and you also had some additional, from the mayor doing his best he could to get the word out. Thank you for rescuing him and for what you've done at the Hermitage. The least he could do is try to get more people to come and give you cash money. So yeah, circus is coming up tonight. Things are getting ready. You guys have leveled up a little bit since the last time that we ran a show. So you do have slightly more at your disposal in terms of what you can do. So I know it has been a little bit, obviously since we've done this. So I'm sure there will be some review of how the little circus system in this campaign works. So you all had your signature tricks that you guys had come up with last time that we did this. And if you don't have them written down anywhere, cool, you can make up a new one now.
Oh, fantastic! 'Cause I don't remember what mine were.
That's fine. I that is fine. Like if you have a signature trick that you want to build upon and have written down, cool. If you just want to make up some brand new shit every time, cool. I do not care. Do perform what you want to perform. But the main thing that's different is last time we did this, we were level 1. And when you would go and perform, there was a particular trait of your trick. So maybe like your trick was something based with fire. Your trick was something based with acrobatics. Your pay was something. They had some sort of trait to it, and then you would pick a check that you rolled in the process of doing your trick to determine whether you succeeded or fumbled things in your performance, which would affect how much excitement was generated from the crowd, and it would eventually affect the payout of the show as a whole. At level 4, the main difference that you have is you can now pick. You now have 2 different checks you can pick from. So instead of just having one roll that you roll and that's your check for everything, you have 2 different ones you can pick from, and these can be anything. I believe I had written, I think it was in the Discord, I wrote like some explanation that I had found. Let me scroll back up here and find it because it made a lot of sense. Okay. Okay. So this may help with understanding it. This was an example of a signature trick with some checks and how that works. So for example, let's say we're at the level where you have access to 3 trick checks. Currently you only have 2, but let's say you have 3 for the sake of this example. And your signature trick is juggling clubs. So you throw the clubs up in the air, you skewer them with a knife, and you avoid them as they come down. And so you decide that your 3 checks you're going to do for your performance is that you are going to do 1, an athletics check for how high that you throw the clubs in the air, an attack roll check for throwing the knife through the clubs, and then a fortitude save check to dodge the falling knife clubs. And so there's your signature trick. There's your 3 checks that you decided. So in this case, you only have 2 instead of 3. But that's basically a way to think about it. Like, you're doing a thing, pick a couple checks for things you're doing in the process of your performance, and we roll them to determine if you succeed, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
It's still a little confusing, but I think it'll make more sense when we're actually like doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. But yeah, for now, if you have a signature trick that you recall from last time, if you're thinking of one, just think of what it is you're doing, and in the process of whether that be throwing a thing, blowing a thing, blowing up a thing, jumping off things, flipping up or flipping over, whatever the heck we're doing. Yeah. So let's see. I guess before we get into it, we should probably make sure everybody has something thought up for that. Did anyone still have one written down from last time that they wanted to build upon?
Let me double check real quick, but I don't think so.
And I'm also going to double check real quick because I don't remember if I had.
Pretty sure we all like fucking improv'd everything last time.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I do that.
Last time was that was also a head-to-head, which, yeah, got the inspiration to make it a rap battle a little bit.
Oh yeah, there was also that.
That was like a competing performance. That was slightly different.
That one was slightly different, but yeah. Yeah, it looks like I don't have. I don't think. Oh no, it looks like some of you might have some ones in the notes tab of your character sheet. Braz does.
What? Oh, look at that! Oh, I didn't write what my actual trick was. I just wrote a note of.
Oh, you just picked your trait.
Yeah.
And I think I did. Did I have a note of all the traits?
You scared me for a second. I thought I was more organized than I felt.
Oh, here. I do have a list of the trick traits, and what they give you a bonus to. So this may, influence what you decide for your trick checks. So, for example, on the one that Braz had written down in her notes, because she is so organized, she had picked a fire-based trick, and fire-based tricks give a +1 to intimidation rolls. So perhaps for one of the checks, she would do an intimidation check because she has a bonus to that one because it's a fire-based one, and then something else for the other check. But that list should be in the little chat there. You can bring up, probably should drag that down to your little hot bar down at the bottom, just so you have that for the future as well. But,
and are we only limited to certain traits in the beginning?
At the moment, the traits that are listed there are the ones that you have access to. And you can only choose one trait right now. Later on, you can do multiple traits, but that's not until level. It's like a couple levels from now.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, even just having like one main trait. I mean, like for instance, in that juggling example, like you're throwing them up, you're skewering the pins, you're avoiding them as they come down. Like it's all based around a prop trick with these juggling pins, but you're doing multiple checks in the course of doing that performance, if that makes sense. But later on, if that was an example that had 2 trick checks, maybe they are juggling pins and they are also on fire, so it is a prop and a fire trick, which gives its own bonuses, and then you do checks accordingly, stuff like that. So we'll give you a moment to kind of look that list over, kind of mull over what you think you would like to do, and what checks you would like to do for that.
So, like...
Yeah.
Okay, I think I get what you're saying. So, like, I can do one that needs performance in acrobatics. Right?
Yeah. So let's say, for example, like since you mentioned performance, let's say for your trick trait you did musical, since that gives you a bonus to performance.
That's so. Like, here's what I was thinking: performance and acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
My little toy cart. I'm always, that's kind of part of the first part of my thing is to come in on a toy cart.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my honky nose.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I have any other music things, but I don't really think I do. But I can, make music with my honky nose, I guess.
Well, I mean, and this doesn't necessarily have to be tied to like any sort of like actions or things that you have. Like if you have, some sort of musical performance you want to do, whether that be singing with your little poppet voice, whatever that sounds like, or some sort of instrument, whatever, whether that be your nose or something else. But yeah, if you're wanting to do like acrobatics and performance, like you drive out in your car, you do some sort of acrobatic thing to get out of your car, and that's a check, and then you do some performance check for whatever musical nose fart noises you do. And then there you go. That's your 2 checks.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I think I get it, but I think again it'll make more sense when we're actually doing it.
Yeah. Well, I guess since we're still figuring things out, like what are you thinking, Ross? Like what are you thinking of right now?
Not like right this moment because I won't have the time like to work with him, but I think eventually I'll work the wolf into my act. So, like then when I did that, would that incorporate the animal then? Like,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I get it then. I get it.
Yeah, so like if you want to do that right now, you could, and have that be like your main trick right now is doing something with your wolf. Yeah, you could certainly do that. Have like an animal check which rolls for nature, and then you do something else while you're on the wolf, or something with the wolf for some other check. Yeah, you could certainly do that. Or if you wanted to stick to fire right now, and then maybe later when you get 2 trick checks, you could have fire and wolf.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand it then.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you are still fairly new to the wolf right now, so perhaps it is not used to the circus life or performing.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but can I blow fire off your back?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so question, because I also am not sure if I'm understanding this correctly.
Fire away. That's what we're here for.
So, if Maz's whole thing is basically just like throwing and juggling props.
Yeah.
Like her bladed hoops, for example. Like if her thing was to juggle her bladed hoops.
Yeah.
And like do stuff with that, and then like at the end basically like do some spinnies or whatever, and like catch one on her leg or her neck or something like that. Would that be like, could I say like athletics for the actual act, and then acrobatics to pull off the like climax?
Yeah, you could do something like that. Since your trick is like prop based, that kind of trick does give you a +1 to crafting checks because it's a prop. So if you wanted to, have one of your rolls be a crafting roll for, whatever your trick you're doing with the hoops, you're getting a bonus on that because you crafted them well and they're not falling apart on you. And then maybe do like an acrobatics or an athletics for the catching of them or something like that. That way you can still take advantage of that trick trait bonus. You don't have to take advantage of the trick trait bonus, but it's a bonus, so you might as well.
And right now we're just selecting one, correct?
Yeah, only one trick trait right now. But as we continue going along, you'll get more trick traits. You'll get more trick checks. Your tricks can get more complicated, and wild, and they'll generate more excitement as a result because they're fancier. Let me I'll bring up a little note this time so I can write down tricks. Okay, so let's see. So if I have this right for the general idea, so Honker, you're going with musical for the trait, or have you changed to something else? Lose Honker.
Honker, no!
He got too close to the campfire.
That's not even funny.
We don't joke about that.
It's very serious.
We draw a line in the dirt that he can't go past, or he's gonna get burned.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Honker would draw a line in the dirt, and it would be like 50 feet away.
Yes.
Fair.
But then we draw a line in case Honker wants to get a little bit closer. Like, we know Honker's not going to, but we like to have the option open.
like a full third or 2/3 of my kit is dedicated to just the possibility that fire could be near me and getting away from it.
It does not hurt to be prepared.
Okay. Paragraph, nice body text. Okay. So yeah, Hungary. So for your trick, are you still going with musical for the trait, the main trait of yours right now?
Performance.
Okay. Well, that would be one of the checks.
Oh.
So for the trait from that trick trait list.
Oh, musical, yeah.
Yeah, musical. Okay, so musical for the trait, and then your checks, you're doing performance and wait, so like acrobatics or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll worry about like the description of what exactly you're doing when we do the show part. But
no, it's not acrobatics. It's more of deception. I'm gonna do like my honky stuff and then like your standard pulling flowers out and giving them to children only for them to like explode in a little burst of fire a couple moments later in the everlasting scar for that kind of shit. It's deception and performance.
Okay, cool. I like it. All right, and we'll get into more details of how that all looks in a bit. So Maz and Braz, get everybody in here. Okay. So Braz, were you sticking with fire for the moment for your main? Yes. Okay. So trait fire. And what checks are you going to be doing? You do have a +1 to intimidation checks for fire.
And I think that would be good for what I have in mind for my finale.
Okay.
Let me look at something real quick.
And the checks, just to remember, the checks they don't have to be just the ones in your skill list. They can be attack rolls, they can be saves, they can be like any roll basically can be the check. So don't feel like you're limited to just what's on that skill page of like, nature, society, arcana, or whatever.
Well, kind of, I don't have the whole act totally figured out in my head yet, but kind of my basic idea is gonna incorporate a little bit of movements. So I think acrobatics would probably play into it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. How about you, Mons? What are you thinking for your little shindig?
Honestly, I don't think I'll go with one of the trick trait bonuses.
Okay. Like it does still need to have like a trait, even if you're not using the bonus for your checks. Like what is your trick based around? Props. Okay, so prop. Okay, and what checks are you wanting to do with your props?
Athletics and acrobatics.
Athletics, acrobatics. All right. Cool. All right. How about you, Grotus?
The Dwarven Throwing Brothers load Grotus into what appears to be an enormous ballista, wind it back, and he puts on a sort of a pottery helm and holds a beer. And then he is launched to the very height of the tent, and then has to grab onto a rope in order to like swing down and then slide down, and then at the end has to prove that he can still drink.
Okay.
It's called Old Fool's Way Home, or it's the quick way home from the bar.
Nice. All right. And what is like what trait are you wanting to use for that? Like you want to do like air for the aerial, or
aerial because he's being thrown into the air.
Okay, yeah. Air. All right. And what 2 checks are you wanting to do in the process of this trip back home from the bar?
So it's acrobatics to tumble, grab, and then athletics to control the rope and get yourself down without falling, and also doing it without spilling your beer.
Cool. All right.
It's actually a Stein. He's cheating.
They don't have to know that.
Okay, so he makes the rope, makes it through the air, grabs the rope. Or we're not rolling yet.
Yeah, we're not rolling yet. Right now, we're just kind of making sure everybody knows how it works.
I've been raring to go. I had that in the chamber.
All right. Well, hopefully that 30 comes back in a little bit when the show goes on. All right. So we got everything figured out there. Sweet. So we should all be ready to go. Let's see. Let me just take a look here real quick. I'm just reading these notes that Baza sent me here, seeing if I can. I do want to say, Baza, I believe that I do have. I think I do have the stuff for Kitsune, if that is what you're wanting to go with. I feel like I did get. I feel like I did
be
get
a cat girl for me.
I do. I do have Kitsune ancestry. I just checked in here, and I do have that.
So, Grotus is already chaotic. Don't make him chaotic evil. Let's not go there.
Yes, that'd be good. I do like your idea there. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if this could somehow be. If you're up to it, Baza, we could incorporate that idea of yours into this. Kind of flashbang into the pan with the little concept you came up with there. Let me. Otherwise, if you're still just wanting to keep an ear out this time, that's fine too, and we can figure out how to get that in another time. But if you do want to join in the show, you're more than welcome to.
I on the show like an hour to create the character, so just go ahead and start the show, and if I can get it done, I get it done.
Okay.
If not, yeah.
No worries. And if you do get to that point, let me did like that whole bit about how like the performance tricks work make sense in terms of like it has some sort of aspect, and then you roll a couple checks for your performance. Does that make sense?
Well, I think I'll go with my second idea after listening to you.
Okay.
Basically ride a firework up into the top of the 10 is my final trick.
Okay. Yeah, let me send you this.
Attempt to parachute down without dying.
Sure. Let me send you this list real quick, just because you don't have the Fantasy Grounds at the moment. This is a list of the traits. So currently everybody has like one trait that their trick is based around, and then they do 2 checks for the performance of that trick. And you get more later on, but right now you just have 1. So if you wanted to do your firework or whatever else, you'd pick one of these traits, and then you would pick 2 checks that you would roll. So let me just get this formatted properly for you, so you have that in your pocket as you're thinking about stuff. And bam. Now you have those. Okay. So, you guys have gotten some rest and recuperation from your stint at the Hermitage. You've gotten some word out around town. The town is, a bit of buzz at the sound of there being another show at the big top just outside the edge of town. People are talking about the show. They're talking about you. The mayor's put in a lot of good word, and there's all these whispers about these, this performing troupe that are also, heroes of the town. Go check them out. Toss them a coin. They've done some good for us, so let's do some good for them. Excitement is high in the air, and as you all are kind of getting ready down in the southern part of the big top behind the curtains, peeking out, you can see that, there's quite a good turnout, a little more even than the last time you guys did a show here in Aberton. The bleachers are packed. People are happy. They seem excited to see you. Even last time there was a little bit of a ruckus in the stands at some point. You don't even see any people that seem to be here to cause trouble or be drunken bastards. Like, people are here to have a good time, and they're here for you. So you're all getting together here. The professor back behind is making sure everything is set up and good to go. Props are being wheeled out in carts for easy access of grabbing to get out into the rings. And, your other fellow performers, Eliza, the diva, everyone else, the Kabali family, they are also getting set up for their various performances as well. Let me bring up the... where is the circus sheet? Okay, so the professor comes up to you as things are getting ready with how we want the show to be laid out here tonight. So if you recall, you may not recall, but from last time, the show goes in a few acts. There is the opener, which is just one performer out there doing their thing. There is the build-up, in which there are two performers out there in the two side rings doing things at the same time. There is the big number, which is a one single trick in the middle ring. And then the finale of the show, which is 3 different performances in all 3 rings at the same time. So let me drop this sheet in here. This still has the stuff from last time. Oh, well, if we didn't remember what our tricks were, I forgot that they are written in here on the sheet from last time.
Oh, well, I've perfected my act.
Well, there you go. So, looking at what we got in here, let's see. So for the opener, who are we wanting to have as the opening trick?
I got it. So for the opening trick?
Yeah. Opener of the show. You out there on your own, center ring.
So the music goes quiet. The torches get dimmed by prestidigitation.
Okay.
Then you hear like some jangling, like bad stringy xylophone music.
Mm-hmm.
And one loud voice rings out from like a high atop a ramp, yelling, "Hi, I'm Grotus Rankle. This one's called Grandpa's Way Home from the Bar." And then one of the dwarves punches him in the nuts, and he gets launched through, and then the band picks up playing like real hillbilly tune.
All right. Beautiful.
And then you go, fuck! Immediately gets launched through the hoop and into the air.
I like it. All right. So, let's see. Let me adjust this sheet here. So we have... Oops. Rotus. Level form. All right. So for your trick here, so you have your acrobatics and your athletics rolls that we're doing here for the success of your performance. And how were those rolls factoring in there? Was it again? I know there was one for keeping the beer in the stein.
So that one was going to be athletics. This one's acrobatics and aerial, and that other one would be athletics and water.
Okay. All right. So, lights go down. This is going on. Oh, that's right. I remember the first time we did this, we didn't quite do it properly. So this is a little... Let me sort this out here. Okay. So, let's go ahead and do the check for the... I think it's the acrobatics, the getting shot through the air with a pot on your head after getting kicked in the nads. Give us a roll. 20. All right, that is a success. Let me double check on... I think the bonuses for how much excitement these generate change now because we're a little bit higher level. Let me double check. Performing.
I think you're right. We kind of talked about that.
Yeah, I believe so. Let's see. So let's see. The tricks performance. Okay. Where is it? Okay. So that does generate. Where is that? Okay. So the excitement that gets generated in total sounds like it's based on the number of checks as well. Okay, cool. Sweet. So that one passes with a 20, so you're good to go there. One thing I did just notice in here, looking through these circus rules. So generally for pretty much everything in this, by default, like the DC of success is like a 15. But you can opt to increase that DC to generate more excitement. However, of course, if you do not meet the DC, then that is more lost excitement. But that is an option to you if you are feeling confident or if you think you have a nice big fat bonus on whatever you're rolling, and so you'll be good anyways. So that is an option out there for you. As for the keeping the liquid successfully in the stein, go ahead and give us the roll for that one, Grotus.
So that's an athletics, which gives it it's athletics and it's water traits. So that's +1 on that.
Okay. All right, 23. All right, both of those successfully go off without a hitch. You fly through the air, pot on head, beer in cup, and manage to successfully land despite your recent groin injury, surprisingly, with beer all still there, managing to take a big, hefty swig the moment you land, too much cheering that rings around inside your little pottery helmet. Things are off to a raring start. Things are looking good. All right. Build up.
I think this would be a good spot for mine.
Okay. And there is room for another performer in one of the other circles as well. Now, it doesn't have to be one of you. There are other circus performers that if you guys want to direct to be put in, that's great. There's the Flamboni sisters. There's Mordain, who is the water escape artist. The Featherfall 5 Kambali family, who do tightrope balances and things. The Dwarven Throwers, who do their various ballistae, living ballistae stuff. And Eliza with her snake. So, who would you like to be doing, or who would you like having tricks being done with in the other circle out there with you, Browse?
I'm gonna vote for Alicia and Mr. Tickles.
All right, let's get Eliza out there. Eliza.
Now, I will be putting a few things in the Discord chat to give a helpful visual because I know I'm not going to describe it very well what I'm planning on doing here.
interested to see this. All right, while Braz is getting that set up. So Eliza and Mr. Tickles come out into one of the side rings here, while Braz is getting ready in the other one as well. And Mr. Tickles is feeling a lot better after the treatment that you'd given to him. He's back to his usual sneaky self and seems to be happy and ready to perform this enormous python coming out along with Eliza, almost dwarfing her. Like he is surprisingly large, and despite his size, is a friendly chap. But she comes out with Mr. Tickles and begins her act. She starts out with having Mr. Tickles. He coils up around her, kind of encasing her into basically a snake pyramid in his coils. And he kind of rears his head up, and he kind of snakes out a bit with just his head kind of over the crowd, kind of close to the crowd, like almost kind of close to the front rows of the crowd. Almost getting some intimidation in there from this giant snake. Fearsome passes, and also once it's made its way across the nearest bleachers here and given some small children some frights, it moves back towards Eliza, and as Mr. Tickles uncoils, Eliza is being kind of lifted up into the air on Mr. Tickles's tail here, balancing upside down on the tip, basically, as it moves around, and he kind of has it snaking around a bit in the air, and she manages to stay perfectly. Well, we'll see. She tries to balance on this and roll. Ooh, with that one, she does not manage to stay as balanced on that. Wobbles a bit. She manages she wobbles enough that she kind of tips off the tail, manages to catch herself enough that it's not a complete whiff. But she kind of steps back onto Mr. Tickles' coils here. Somewhat a little bit awkwardly there. Unfortunately, not as much applause for that one. And then for the last part of hers, she does a... All right. The last one, you see her hands move as she kind of directs Mr. Tickles. And he raises up into the air, and his head kind of bends down directly above Eliza's head. And his mouth opens wide. And he appears to just, his head rushes downwards and seems to engulf Eliza entirely. And she disappears. She manages to succeed on her check with that. And the crowd gasps, thinking that she is gone. And, Mr. Tickles kind of wriggles around happily here. Eliza seems to be nowhere to be seen. And a moment later, there is a little bit of a fanfare from the circus band, and the lights move, and Eliza is sitting over in the bleachers among some of the patrons, much to their surprise. Somehow she got over there and was not actually consumed by Mr. Tickles. Which brings us to Braz.
All right. So the first part, I have some batons that I will light on fire, and I'm gonna twirl them, kind of like this lovely gentleman here I've just put in the chat. Just doing like a kind of like a simple like majorette routine.
Okay.
So first roll here.
All right. 11. That does not succeed, unfortunately. A couple of the times when you're tossing your baton around, it doesn't quite catch how you want. You almost have to kind of stumble a little bit to get it back in your hand so you don't fully drop it.
All right.
All right.
So I'm going to try to recover from that. Still twirling the batons.
Okay.
Moving on to this lovely little Russian dance here.
Love the flavor gifts. These are great.
just imagine a cute little goblin doing that. All right. Come on, dice.
All right, that's a 20. That succeeds. Very nice. And see, that was a, what was it? That was your acrobatics check. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. And then my final part of it, using my intimidation, is I'm going to bring the batons all together. And as I run towards the audience, going to blow a giant fireball at them. So it looks like it's going to get them, but I'm not ever actually going to get close enough to burn them. Okay.
So, well, currently with where you're at, you only have the 2 trick checks, not the 3.
Oh, just 2. It's not 3.
So if you want to, just because we're still figuring this out a little bit, we can drop off the majorette routine that didn't work so well and go with the fire one if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I think that would look more impressive.
Okay, so fire breathing
Last
out.
time we did 3 actions.
Yeah, that's because we did. I realized afterwards that we hadn't quite followed how the system works right. But yeah. Ooh. Well, whether it's that one or the other one, same result either way. Both of them didn't go off quite as planned. Let's see. That one's a 10. So as you kind of tumble out of this to do your fire breath, it seems that in the excitement to get this thing going, you had forgotten to bring along the ignition fuel that you usually have in your mouth for this part, and it didn't really go off. You breathed in some of this torch, and that came back out a little bit, but it was definitely not an impressive fireball because you didn't have any gasoline in your mouth. Whoops.
Mouth was a wee bit dry.
Mouth a wee bit too dry, unfortunately. All right. Which brings us to the next part. The big number. Do one of you want to take the big solo act number, or do we want to give that to one of the other performers?
Honker can do that.
All right, Honker.
Yeah.
So they'll cook on out there in their little car and kind of do some circles while playing terribly, but like intentionally, so that it's recognizable, but kind of amusing as he's like tripping and falling off the cart.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and roll is that performance?
I think that was the one you had picked. Let's see. Yeah, you had performance and deception. 32. That is a critical success on that. Tell us a little bit how your critically successful trick goes. Things went real well for you out there.
Okay, so like, when they go to transition to the next bit of like kind of sleight of hand tricks, usually they'll like hop off the car, but this time their big shoe kind of got caught and they tumbled, but when they rolled, as they rolled a couple times, they got an extra couple honks off, nailed another verse of honks and made it look entirely intentional. And then like when they stopped, they leaped up and kind of moved into the next bit of the trick with a bouquet of flowers that explode into flame, and then the never-ending scarf and whatnot. Here, I'll go ahead and roll the deception for that.
Yeah, fire away. A 20. All right, that succeeds its check as well. Very nice. All right, so you managed to successfully get these little bouquets out. People are oohing and eyeing over them, and then oohing and eyeing even more, and they explode into a little harmless shower of fireworks and sparkles from these. Your big number has gone. Fantastic, Honker. Well done. All right, which brings us to the finale. There's 3 spots. I know 2 of them are going to be taken up. Or no, one of them. One of them's going to be Maz. One of them's going to be Maz. Who do we want in the other slots? We got like the Kambali family, the dwarves, Mordain. I'm trying to think if there was anybody else I forgot.
Lots of people here.
I don't want to cause a distraction, but I need you all to know that apparently combat juggling is a thing.
Combat juggling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what's the combat part?
I guess they're both, I'm going to assume, they're both juggling, but you can also throw stuff at each other, like jugglers do mid-juggle, and you have to not drop your juggle.
It just looks insane.
Oh my god.
Or they're moving, I've seen it actually, yeah, they're moving around, they're trying to like grab balls from each other's juggle cycle.
Yeah,
and then like end up being the one with, don't drop your balls, and you want to be the one with the most balls still cycling by the end.
Weird.
Yeah, it's basically like being super active while juggling and then also sabotaging everyone else.
That's pretty wild.
They're like juggling, but then they're also like eyeing who they're gonna like hit and run and fuck up or snatch a ball from or something.
That sounds really intense.
I'm just imagining them like with juggling pins, but instead of like juggling them up in the air, they're like violently, intentionally throwing them at each other's heads and still juggling them back between each other.
Oh, so it's just playtime with my brothers.
Didn't you know they were professional combat jugglers?
Yeah, as you do.
I do now.
All right, Maz, who do you want with you for the big finale?
Definitely Mordain.
Okay.
And then probably the crap, I'm blanking.
The Dwarven Throwers or the Kambali family?
The Dwarven Throwers.
Okay, got it. All right, so the 3 of you all come out to get set up for the big finale. The band's going wild. You 3 are all getting set up for your triple trick. Let's see. Let's start with Mordain. All right, so Mordain comes out along with Hod, her big buff manly man assistant here. Her himbo. Yeah, her himbo. Hod the himbo. That's what he will be now. So they come out with Hod is over his head, he is holding up what looks to be, I don't know if you guys have seen these, but there's back when back in the day, in terms of like milk production, you'd have those like big metal like milk canisters for storage, those kind of things. He has one of those. He has one of those held sideways, and he's like rolling it, and Mordain is keeping balance on top of it, like doing little jumps as it rolls around, and he's walking out with this. And let's see, then that passes. Let's see. All right. And once they get out into the ring, Hod sets this canister down, and Mordain begins to fit herself into it, which seems to defy the laws of physics. You're not sure how she's making her way through the neck of this milk canister to get to the inside, much less fitting on the inside. Both of these seem pretty astounding. Let's see, that would be a... Yeah, we'll do that. And that, let's see. Critical success on weaving her way into this canister. The crowd is like almost in silent awe at her contortions getting into this thing. But she gets into this canister somehow, and once she is in there, Hod straps jams the lid into the top, and it has a little fastener lock on it. And he locks it shut, and he actually like picks it back up, twirls it around a bit, turns it upside down, showing that there is, not any missing side. It's a solid milk canister, and sets it down in the middle of the ring. Drum roll from the band, and the milk canister kind of wobbles around a little bit, like a Pokeball trying to catch a little critter, and after a moment it stops moving, and almost seemingly from Hod's own shadow, Mordain steps out from behind him, almost like stepping out of a crack in space somehow. How she got there, no idea. Also a success. That is a 2. Very nice. Maz, what are you doing for your juggling?
Nothing that impressive.
Well, you're all a part of the big finale act. What do you got? Show us what you got.
Maz is going to be juggling basically she's going to be juggling like 4 bladed hoops at once.
Okay.
And so what she'll do is she'll start out juggling 3 with 1 like on the ground but around her ankle.
Okay.
And then once she has like a good rhythm going, she's going to like lift her foot up and start rotating it on her ankle and kick it up to join the others and continue juggling.
Nice.
And that'll consist of her like athletics portion is like getting everything up in the air, keeping it going,
Roll it up. Very nice. Very nice. 25.
Okay. And once she's kind of hit, like, the climax of her performance, she's going to make sure, like, everything is going high enough and fast enough. And then she's going to start, like, dropping them down one by one, and catch, like, 2 on her arm, 1 on her foot, and the last one around her neck.
Actually, I just realized that the 25 would be a critical success. So even better job with the initial juggling blading hoops. I was double checking that I was remembering right, that it was 10 more than the DC. That was that one. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead and do your roll for the other half. Let's see how that goes. Ooh, 13.
Not as good.
Not as good, indeed.
Wait, but can I use a hero point?
You can certainly use a hero point. That is what they are for.
Damn it, I should have done that. Forget about those.
They're a good thing to remember. Hey, that's enough. That's a pass.
What's frustrating is it stayed on the edge between a 20 and an 8 and then rolled over.
Ah. All right. Let's see. And that was the
acrobatics of, like, catching them all on my limbs and, like, doing a little twirl.
Yeah. Okay, good. So that went off well. You didn't lose any limbs or your head. Very nice.
See, I would argue that's just as impressive, if not more, than what the other folks did. Because, yes, you totally could have cut your head off.
Fair point.
Could have, but, you know, then at least everyone would remember her performance.
That would be kind of a cool way to go.
Yeah, right. That's the Grotus way of letting life catch up to you and finally give you the big squish. All right, which brings us last to the Dwarven Throwers, who have rolled out their various explosives to blast around the area and finish things off with a bang, as they like to do. They begin with their usual blasts back and forth, almost juggling themselves in the air with explosions between the 4 of them. And that is a success. Let's see, 19 with that. And then once they finish kind of juggling each other there, they kind of move the cannon's angle a bit and put one right into the middle of the ring and point it directly upwards. And they do a series of shots, kind of one after the other, to kind of build up the anticipation here. Let's roll real quick and see how that goes before I talk about it. Also passes. Nice. All right, so they in sequence, the 4 of them, a series of different amounts of explosive in their cannon, each one higher than the last, aiming for this trapeze bar that has been lit up at, like, the very, very top of the tent. So the first one goes a little low and is kind of oh, and then the next one goes a little bit higher, oh, and the third one, and then the fourth one finally just high enough grasps onto the top one up there and kind of scrambles up on top of it, and, you know, stands up with his arms out and this big stupid grin on his face. Yeah, gunpowder stained, and his gunpowder stained beard. Meanwhile, the other 3 below are finishing up with the last part of their act. blasting themselves out towards the highest edge of the bleachers and landing among the crowd, kind of doing a crowd surf move here. Let's see. Critical success.
Wow, Grotus, they're trying to upstage you.
Indeed.
You gotta start easy. It's the open.
Doesn't mean that it's any less important or impressive.
I mean, are they spilling their drinks? I bet they are.
See, that's the real talent right there, not spilling your drink.
All right. So with this blast of the crowd, they crowd surf out there, and like it's almost kind of amazing how well it works. Like with the angle that they've gone just above the hands of the crowd, and it's almost kind of a gracefully eased slow as they're almost like passed up the hands of the crowd, finishing up at the very top of the bleachers, in this kind of smooth motion that you wouldn't really expect coming out of a cannon. And the crowd is much pleased overall. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and we had to beat. Let's see. All right, we definitely exceeded the anticipation, so that's good.
Yes.
Money has been made, but we'll figure that out in a moment. As as the show's finishing, and the Dwarven Throwers have done their thing, and the crowd is going wild. You guys are down towards the kind of curtain separating the tent down in the southern half, and all four of you roll a perception check for me here real quick. All right. All four of you, you see like one of the kind of entrances to the tent, kind of straight north, kind of up the middle, kind of right next to the main kind of northern bleachers here. There's an entrance, and you see a man kind of stumble running in through that entrance. And Grotus, you in particular are able to see just from the light and like the shadows of the bleachers. It's a little hard for most of you to see, but Grotus, you could pick it out. The reason he is stumble running is because his pants are around his ankles, and he comes stumble running in, yelling about some sort of lizard monsters on the road, and that he was just trying to take a shit, and kind of falls down unceremoniously, tangled in his pants. And the crowd nearby, that you can see this kind of rippling through the crowd. Like previously everybody was up in the air and cheering and happy. The show was great. The show was a success. But it seems there is some danger interrupting the important business outside of the circus goers.
So Grotus is not in the final act per se, so he's going to rush to this guy's aid and say, "So you're taking a poop and some lizards fell on your head?"
So this is after like the final act is done. Yeah, like the thing is done. Like the people who were performing, like Maz, you were still out in the ring just because like things were just like finishing. But like the show itself is done. You guys were like in the process of like the post applause when this guy in the middle of taking a shit runs in.
People were about to get up and leave anyway.
Yeah, they were about to get up and leave, and then a guy runs in with his pants around his ankles about how something's out there and preventing him from defecating.
Good old shit lizards. I know.
Did the lizards bite his thing off? Where'd it go?
As far as you could tell, that is still there. Nothing has been bitten off. There is no blood. There is just maybe a little shame.
Just making a small weenie joke.
And that's when they shrunk your dick, right?
Skedaddle, skedoodle, your dick is now a noodle.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Gross is ready to spring into action. He's ready to kick some tail.
So before we do spring into action, let's take our quick here. Okay. So, yeah, there seems to be something outside. You can tell that the patrons here at the circus are immediately concerned. There's already been rumors kind of going around town about some business going on, at the Hermitage that you guys have taken care of course. But it's a small town. Rumors spread like wildfire. They've heard about some sort of strange business going on at this tower nearby. Nobody really knows for sure. There's just tall tales and things that have been being passed around people, and now it seems that there's something at the doorstep. What are y'all doing?
Well, first we gotta find these shit disturbers. And maybe we can hassle one of them to get in the lowdown on what's going on with their plans. And then we take it right to the tower. And I'm not talking about the tip. We go shaft to top.
This is a very dirty session.
Oh, it's going to get real dirty. It's going to get real explosive. We're going to pop the roof off that thing, I tell you. I eat that whole thing up one bite. No crumbs.
All right. So, are you guys kind of getting yourselves together to head out there and see what this disturbance is that's kind of putting a sour note on the end of your show?
I suppose we have to.
Okay. Braz, are you? I assume you go and round up Scorch to come with you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! All right. Let me make sure he's in the list too. Yeah, he's in the list. Okay. So you guys, make your way outside. As you guys are kind of getting your stuff together, you hear a few of the patrons, like they see you all kind of busying yourselves. They're like, you hear some of them whispering, like they're the ones that saved the Hermitage. Are they going to save us now? What's out there? And there seems to be some a little bit of renown growing about this little ragtag group and your doings in the neighborhood. But as you guys head out of the tent, at least immediately outside the tent, you don't see anything obvious. You do recall that the guy mentioned something about the road being where he had seen the things that scared him shitless. And that is just a little ways away. There's a path that heads to the big top, but heading to the northwest, that'll take you to where the road that heads northeast out of Aberton, the one that heads towards the Hermitage, is at.
Well, let's head that direction then.
All
Your
right.
dogs smell the poop?
First of all, he's not a dog. And second of all, probably.
All right, so you guys make your way up the path, and eventually arrive at the kind of main, the more main road here. Roll a perception check for me as you're coming up here to this main road area. Okay. All right. Braz and Maz. You both, as you're getting up here, let me get the map up for you. As you're getting up here to this road, there's kind of a intersection here where the path from the big top goes off, and it heads off to the northeast. There's the road heading back towards the southwest, towards the town. But you notice a little ways to the west of you, and it's a little bit hard to make out, but you do at least see them. By one of them has a torch, and so you can see a little bit from that torchlight. It's the evening at the moment after the end of your performance, kind of a summery evening. Like you got the the twilight of the summer evening still a bit, but it's still fairly dark. You see a group of creatures over here, humanoid-ish. I mean, they got arms, they got legs. They're kind of hunched over a bit. Their heads don't seem human-shaped. Something a little strange about them. They also appear to have what almost looks like some sort of like protrusion or ridge along like their neckline that you're not sure of. Definitely something you'd never really seen before, but you can't quite see clearly in the twilight. But the flickering of the flames that the torch that one of them is holding, you do feel like you catch a glint of like scales, like their skin has kind of that scaly reptilian kind of sheen to it, that texture to it, amongst some sort of clothing that they are wearing. As of yet, they don't seem to have noticed you.
Can I like nature to identify if this is like regular ass lizard folk like I heard about, or are these some mutated ass peoples?
Sure, you can do a nature check.
Or are these the lizard people from my, bad trip?
Let's find out. Roll it up.
Didn't go in the tray. Here it is.
Okay. So from your check, like you have seen some lizard folk before, and they do bear like some resemblance to other lizard folks that you've seen, but not quite. Like there's something a little different about them. Like they don't quite look exactly like other lizard folk that you've met. At least like the more kind of civilized lizard folk that you've come across in towns and in your line of work, and things like that. If anyone wishes to, feel free to roll a history check to see if you remember a particular detail from.
There is no history.
Or not history. Wrong system.
Lore?
Lore. Yeah, roll lore.
I mean, I have lore in theater. Is that applicable?
Mars does not remember what she ate for breakfast.
I guess lore, that would be I guess that all of the different kinds of lore would be applicable, but Braz, your lore is actually applicable here.
Yeah.
So nice. You do recall both from your conversation with Harlock about what he had run into at the tower, and also just some knowledge that you have about things in the underworld. You believe these to be the Zolgath creatures that Harlock had mentioned. Some sort of reptilian race that aren't really seen very much, but they typically live in the Darklands, which are a immense series of caves and passages and things that go underneath the surface of the entire planet that this setting is set on. Basically the Underdark of Pathfinder, for the most part. Typically they live down there. People don't really see them very much. All you really know is that they are known to be kind of vicious. But otherwise not too much. There's some sort of kind of somewhat barbaric lizard people from the world beneath.
I would definitely share all that with everybody else.
Okay, Cherokee. They haven't spotted us yet.
They have not. So if you want to formulate a plan of attack, feel free.
They look like they're armed with like ranged weapons. If you see like bows or javelins on them or something.
It's difficult to tell in this light. They I mean, they some of them appear to have something on their backs. You assume some kind of weaponry, but you can't really tell.
Well, if one of you guys wants to, I can create a distraction, draw their fire. If one of you guys wants to move in and start doing your sneaky attacks.
Get you a lovely picture of these dudes.
Oh my.
Friendly.
Beautiful smiles.
Oh yes.
I must pinch you.
Put him down here. All right.
If you can distract them, maybe me and Scorch can sneak up and grab one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm by distracted. I mean, I'm gonna run out there. They're gonna throw a bunch of shit at me, and I probably won't die right away. I don't know. We're gonna get to grab one.
For being honest.
I'm saying when I'm beating the shit out of out of them, we'll try to beat one to where he has some shit left in him. But other than that, we're going full tilt.
You're really sticking with the unable to shit thing.
They brought up here first, so put shit in, get shit out.
Beautiful.
Rather, if you stop the flow of shit, you're shit.
Sneak though.
Yeah.
All right. So Gross done had enough. He's ready to
Okay.
get your shit ready. He's gonna get ready to move out there.
Okay. Yeah. So before we do roll initiative here, if you guys are wanting to like get into some kind of position, feel free to do so. Depending on where that is, I may or may not have you roll some kind of sneak or stealth type check. But you guys should be able to move around.
Maz is hiding right there.
Okay, heading up under this little miniature cliff embankment there.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I can't drag this. There we go.
Okay, that's okay. I can move him and do things with him for you, since I'm not quite sure the best way to get you to have control over an NPC. But you should have his sheet, so you can at least see what he can do.
Yeah.
And then Grotus and Honker, where are you two posting up?
All right. So if they're gonna be there, how high is this ledge?
In the main part of the ledge that's like right in the middle there, it's about like 8 or 9 feet high. It's not a particularly large one, and then it kind of tapers off on either side, like up by where Braz and Scorch are. It's only like a foot or two of just kind of a rocky step at that point, so you guys they can slip up that way without too much trouble.
Okay. So I guess Grotus's position will be in the bushes up here.
In the bushes, okay. How about you, Honker? Where are you heading?
I'll just walk down the road. Can I like cast a spell? Summon a little buddy to walk down the road and keep me company?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to ride on my back? I'm going straight up the hill.
Okay, I'll summon a Jack in the Box and get on Grotus's back and ride up the hill.
Okay. Are you wanting this like Jack in the Box to like go down the road and try to get their attention or something?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Go ahead and roll, let's say I guess a deception check with your Fae kind of strolling up the road there, doing its thing. Let's see if that is distracting enough to pull some attention. Nice. That is your little dudes heading up the road. Maj, you're kind of you've pressed your little self up against the kind of underside of this cliff here, and you kind of hear some movement, and this kind of guttural, hissing, kind of harsh sounding language that you do not understand, and some movement as some of these guys begin to kind of make their way towards whatever the fuck is in the road. Go ahead and roll initiative, everybody, so you're properly in the tracker. And then we'll get stuff underway.
Oh, I guess I should ask if I actually needed to roll scorches or not. I did anyway, but
You don't. He acts on your turn
On my
if
turn.
you command him.
Okay. Yeah, he does have his own
You
thing.
use one action to command, and then he does two things for that one command. So you spend an action to say, "Go there, bite him."
Yeah, and then you still have your two other actions to do things yourself, so you can.
Okay, so his 2 actions do not count as my 2 actions.
Yep.
No, but you spend one action to get 2 for him.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you kind of go.
Okay, question then, because the book wasn't super clear on this. On my second action, can I command him again, or can I only do that one time?
You can, but you only get one more action out of him because you can't make him do more than 3.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That's good to know. Good
I will
information.
probably be asking a lot of questions because I've never had an animal companion.
That is
No
fine.
problem.
That is what we're all here for. We're all figuring shit out. We're all clowns in this clown eat clown world.
I never planned on being like a pet companion guy in Paizo land, but it just happened to me, and I'm cool with it.
All right. So, up at the top of the order, Honker, with you and your little, I don't know if your Fae can do anything else aside from stroll leisurely down the road distractingly, but you're up.
Yeah, where's my Fae in relation to these creatures?
We'll say that the Fae, let me just grab a random dude. That is not what I wanted. Oh, I know how to do this easier. Let's draw. We'll say it's like here. Yeah, we'll say it's there. Middle of the map.
Okay. Let me see how far this guy can move. It's a pet party. Woo. I gotta figure out my. Okay, so it gives some examples here. Let me kind of look at their average speeds.
Yeah.
I'm looking. It looks like about 20 feet.
Okay.
Is their average speed? Okay, so you summon a Fae. It works. I apologize. I probably should have.
Oh no, you're okay. It's fine. It's
looked at
fine.
How this works? You conjure a critter to fight for you.
Okay.
But it doesn't really tell you like how it fights for you. So I'm gonna have it move. I'm gonna think that it's gonna act similar to like how other animals work. So I'll give it one of my actions.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It almost sounds like just like a summonable companion of a common creature, but it just happens to be fey and lasts for X amount of time.
Okay, I think I can do this then based on the action economy. So if I spend the way I understand it, if I spend two of my actions, or one of my actions, sorry, it can end up like...
Yeah,
you spend one action and it can do two things.
Yeah.
So it should end up like right there. If I spend one action to get it to move over there.
Okay.
So it's like kind of bouncing along the road.
Yeah.
Jack in the Box, playing its little Jack in the Box tune. And then it gets there, and I'm Honker. It is on like Grotus's back, just giggling away. And then the Jack in the Box stops. And Honker snaps his fingers and it pops open. And there's like silence for a minute and then it explodes.
Does that do any sort of damage at all, or is it just like
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Final Sacrifice, that's right.
I gotta draw another pointer. I think it'll get all of them.
How big of a thing is it?
It's 20, so it might not get.
No, that'll hit them all. If you're there, that'll hit them all. Because it's at least like half through all of them. Yeah, so go ahead and target all 5 of them and roll whatever you got to roll.
Do they have the cold or water trait?
Let me see. They are... I do not see anything about being cold or water.
Okay.
They are just...
Sweet.
lizard dudes. Well, that's a lot of dice. Holy fuck!
Christ!
Wow! That is a hell... Fireball Faye.
Well, hell, we didn't even need to come up with a plan.
Well, goddamn. All right. Well, so this little Jack in the Box fucking explodes and just deletes 4 of these guys. Just blasts them backwards. Might be a few lost appendages and things in the process. One of them manages to survive barely, it looks like. Let's see, let me delete these other guys.
Jesus, Honker, you're just full of surprise.
God damn. Wow. What a way to open. Let's see, delete. Oh yeah, last guy not looking so good at all. He is knocked to the ground, bleeding pretty heavily. They definitely were not expecting this. That is for sure. I believe you do still have some actions, Honker. Are you doing anything else?
Oh no, that uses all my actions.
Oh, that uses all your actions.
Yeah,
okay.
So the last thing Honker does, Honker's continuing to laugh, and like Grotus has not heard him laugh like this before, and he just honks his nose a couple times, and
all right. Jeez Louise. All right. Maz, from where you are, so aside from the startling explosion of this friendly little Jack in the Box and the ensuing carnage that followed, one thing that you noticed as you kind of got up here under the cliff to creep close to these guys is they fucking stank, like, hard.
Shit.
Like that might have been your thought at first. Like, oh, was this where the guy was taking a shit? No, it doesn't smell like shit. Like it smells like just some like dank animal stank on these guys. Like it's
they smell worse than goblins normally do.
yeah, like it's bad enough that you notice it. Like
Wow.
it's pretty bad. And like as you kind of crept here and got up close to this whole bunch, like it was to the point where it almost made even you a little nauseous. So much so that you are going to want to roll a fortitude save.
I bet it smells really great after being on fire.
That too probably doesn't help.
Barbecue stank.
Barbecue lizard stank. But yeah, roll me a fortitude save here real quick. Okay, so with that, let's see. Okay, you are fine. You are temporarily you kind of get used to it. It doesn't have an effect on you. You're already kind of used to stank as you are, and it was kind of gross, but you've lived with stank, and so you're good for a while. It doesn't affect you. All right. Anything that you're doing on your turn, Maz, with this one remaining guy after sudden loud noises and maniacal poppet laughter in the darkness?
She's gonna move there.
All right. So you see the one that's left. It's on the ground. It's pretty bloodied up. It looks like it's holding like a couple of like daggers of some kind. The other ones that were around here that are dead also look like they had kind of various, crude sword club things. Up closer to them now, or what's left of some of them. Yeah, like they definitely are some kind of nasty looking lizard dude. They're pretty roughly clothed. They got some sort of like bone ridge along like the back of their necks, down their back. But yeah, what are you doing?
She's gonna throw a dagger at it.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Wow, all right.
Two shot encounter.
2-shot encounter. Jesus fucking Christ.
the shortest encounter I've ever been in.
That was amazing. Oh, wow. Whoo.
Fucking crikey. Crocodile hunted those turds.
You really did.
Oh, fucking shit.
Well then, problem resolved. Everybody can now shit peacefully in the woods.
Thank God.
Da, da, da. Wait, did that leave a blood splatter on the map, or was that on the map?
Yeah.
Things as well. It did.
Wait,
We're that great.
is that a new thing?
Could be.
Hold on. I gotta test something really quick. So if
Already, a cruel god creates life just to see what happens when he destroys it.
Wow, that's sick, dude.
I really think Moog, you and I should sit down one of these days. I know I could benefit from sitting down for a little bit and just like fiddling with the tools, because I bet there, if that is the default, I'd bet there is like blood brushes, because there's tons of brushes and different ways to fiddle with maps that I'm just not familiar with in this setup.
yeah, let's see. Wait, there's the original. Yeah, that is not on the original image file of the. I'm guessing it only happened because of like the crit, maybe, and that it.
Yeah. Maybe excess death damage.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool. That's cool.
Interesting, but yeah, problem taken care of in two two hits. Goddamn. So yeah, the silence of the twilight, kind of goes back to normal around here after the little bit of ringing in your ears from the Jack in the Box tactical nuke. This little group of Zolgaths here.
I'm gonna probably keep a closer eye on Honker for now, because he definitely has the potential to murder us in our sleep.
Maz is going to encourage Honker because she wants to see what happens.
But yeah, and at least from like what Braz had mentioned, like these do seem to be the kind of creatures that Harlock had mentioned. And Harlock had said that as far as he could tell, from the times that he had watched them, they mostly kept to the tower, and so them coming out and kind of going around the countryside is a bit of a new development in that regard. Getting a little bolder for whatever reason, things like that, scouting things out. Previously, they all just kind of hold up at that place. So if that's starting to happen, stuff around is maybe a little bit more in danger than we thought.
God damn it, now everyone's gonna think we're really competent.
Yeah, why do you keep doing that shit?
Yeah, and end in fights in two turns competent. Goddamn.
I'm sorry, Maz. I can't help it that I'm awesome.
This is
Don't worry, we'll cancel it out.
Textbook failing upwards.
How many of those do you think we can put at the base of the tower?
I don't know. How many do you think you can carry at once?
It's a great question.
Because I mean, we could definitely strap at least one to the puppy.
That's ridiculous.
Probably should not strap explosives to the pet dog.
No.
Yeah, please don't explode my newfound friend.
Yeah. All right, so we should probably keep boogieing to the tower while we're on such a hot streak, right?
No, that's probably our one critical we'll get.
To be fair, Maz thought you were talking about the dead bodies as a threat to the rest of them, and not the Jack in the Box.
just load up all the bodies on the dog and have it go drop them on their doorstep and just.
I mean, that's what she thought Grotus's plan was. Intimidation tactic.
Mail them in a couple different boxes.
Just trying to up the terrorism level.
There are two different kinds of people.
You're like, get more chairs, and I'm like, shoot one kid.
Oh, that's why this campaign is fucking great.
And this is the group that want to save the world.
Oh wow, what a man! The world must be in a real shit state. This is what's left. This is what's got to save it. Oh man.
We're fucked.
Oh, okay. We should probably where is it? We should probably figure out the payout for the show. You guys might want some cash. Let's see. Calculating payout. Okay. So prestige. So let's see. What is our? Oop. Can I click that? Thank you. Okay, so prestige is 3 plus final anticipation 4, 7. All right, so payout of 27 GP.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, pretty good for small town hijinks out here. Let me put that in the party sheet. Inventory. Yeah, I mean that almost doubled the GP that you had. So pretty good. Pretty good. Let's distribute that. Bam. Sweet. All right. So with this this problem taken care of out here, you know, as you guys like, especially with the sound of this this Jack in the Box explosion, there had been some patrons of the circus that had kind of wandered outside of the tent. The more curious, maybe more foolhardy ones, you know, wanting to see what was going on. Like, what is the danger out here going on? And you know, find you all victorious amongst these strange lizard creatures. And you know, word quickly spreads back to the rest, and you know, the rest of the town kind of comes coming out of the tent. You know, buoyed up by the resounding performance that you all did, and also now even more so by this another act of victory for the town that you guys have kind of wandered your way into along with the Hermitage. Your people are cheering. You know, the applause continues out here on the road as you all are, you know, kind of getting things sorted, trying to piece together what exactly was going on here. Let me double check. Did these guys have anything?
If they did, it's probably exploded now.
It might have still been in a pocket. Let's see. Founder, Solgaths. Nothing in particular of interest. No. You know, they had some crude, you know, weapons and things that they had, but nothing really of particular value. Eventually, among all the crowd kind of filing out, you know, Mayor Aber is among them, and he kind of finds his way to you all here out on the road and says, "Looks like these were some of those lizard men or something that you were telling us about. Getting a bit close to town, aren't they?"
Yeah, but y'all better go home and lock doors.
Well, we can certainly do that. I will do my best to pass the word along. And you know, the mayor kind of goes and, you know, begins kind of getting the word out. You know, talks to a few people, and they talk to a few people. You know, telling people to, you know, make their way back homes, and you know, again, people are thanking you for the show you put on. But you know, let's go be safe, and let things get taken care of. So, if you guys are heading to the tower, the road to the northwest, you know, pretty much where Maz is at, off that direction, goes in towards the center of the island, which is where this tower is located, according to Harlock. But you can also see it a bit off in the distance. Like, it's a pretty decently large, imposing structure out there. This vaguely kind of pyramidal looking thing. Yeah. Heading that way?
Yeah, why not? No time like the present.
Cool. Alright, so you guys start making your way up the road in the twilight here. Thankfully, without any other further Zolgath surprises along the way. As you guys get kind of close to the tower, the size of it definitely becomes more apparent, like the closer you get, as it begins to kind of tower over you, and also as you kind of get more in its shadow, as it is high above the landscape here. I do have a picture, or kind of a rough model of sorts of what this thing kind of looks like. Not exactly like to scale, but it's this kind of vaguely pyramidal thing. And it's got this decently large ramp on the outside that kind of switchbacks back and forth up a few layers. Like each of these kind of layers is, pretty significantly tall. Not something that could be easily just directly climbed. So this little switchback staircase in the front looks to go to, there's like a large opening, a third-ish of the way up the tower, which you do have a map you got from Harlock of what he was able to explore, which, as far as he knows, is just like the first floor of the interior of this tower. So from that little entrance there, and then beyond what's behind it. But there is evidently more to the tower, of course, than that. And you can see up at the very top of the tower, there's this bit of a structure up there. And there's also a bit of a glow as well. This is evidently where the Aeon Orb of Aeron Tower that Harlock was telling you about seems to reside, giving its divine magics to the land, even if it's not so much these days. This whole thing is it looks to be crafted out of some sort of like, large bricks, things like that. Let's see. Where is... Let me roll something here real quick. So, as you guys are kind of approaching the tower here, you see that there's this glow up at the top, where the Aeon Orb supposedly is. And you feel like you can kind of faintly hear what sounds like banging, or like the sound of what you would expect to hear from like a pick hitting stone or metal or something like that. Somewhat faintly, just from the distance, but you kind of hear this as you're getting up towards the tower. And on one of the points, it hits, and you are surprised to see that there's like a bit of a wavering in the glow from the top of the tower upon, hearing one of these sounds. And much of the tower, you guys are probably around towards the bottom of this staircase right now. And you suddenly see much of the tower almost is suddenly overgrown with moss, everywhere, almost in this instantaneous wave from the top of the tower. There's all of this moss just sprouts all over the place. It has a kind of a pleasant scent to it, but it just kind of appears out of nowhere, with this kind of wavering of this glow from the top of the tower, and it doesn't seem to make any sense why in particular that happened.
They're fucking with the glow, and that's fucking with the grow. We gotta shut that
down. Indeed.
Maz picks up a tiny little bit of Damas and gives it to Ronka. Just puts it right on top.
What a beautiful tribute.
It is a nice little moss hat. That is for sure.
Groat is feeling adventurous and wanting a little bit of magical power, picks up some of the moss and sprinkles it into his bite, along with his hobbit herb.
All right. Beautiful. Let's see. So, do you guys make your way up this staircase up the front?
Oh, yeah. We're going to climb the Tower of Power.
The Tower of Power.
I'm going to sing a little song about it, too.
All right. Let's see. Let me get... this map here. So this this particular layer of the tower, like you do have the map from Harlock, which lays out most of this. You did mention he did mention to you one thing is that evidently on the eastern side of this floor, he remembers that he had come across some kind of secret room that he let you know about, so you guys are aware of that. But before we get into the tower proper here, you guys are going up the stairs. And as you're coming up the ramp outside, let me get you guys on here. Come on, let's take everybody. I'm missing somebody. There you go. Awesome. All right. So as we're getting up here outside, on either side of this there's this main like ledge entrance into this place. There's almost kind of a cold breeze like coming out of the interior of this tower from this kind of large gaping hole in the side. And there are a couple of what look like some sort of stone creatures that are perched on either side of the entrance. They appear to be like some sort of like statue. At least
Perhaps
from looking
even
at
a gargoyle.
Perhaps even that you have heard of such creatures before. But they do look a bit out of place in terms of the like construction of the rest of this. Like the rest of this is all this kind of like mud brick sort of construction, and these are clearly not out of those same materials. So it does seem a little bit odd.
Yeah, Grotus is gonna like tisk it, like is a bit gauche. No,
a bit indeed.
Does not go with the aesthetic.
Let's see.
So yeah, he's gonna just lob art criticism at them, and if they don't do anything, then he'll keep walking in.
All right. So you criticize the art issues of the architecture of this place, and kind of stroll onto the ledge here to make your way into the place. And as you do, you're not quite sure whether it is from your judgment of their taste or your presence. It could be either. They begin to stir, and there's kind of a crackling sound of stone as their little gargoyle wings expand, and they take to the air. Everybody roll them up.
Bitch, you can crawl back into the scrap heap out the art school kiln, you little fucker. Failure of pottery.
Apparently you're a very big art critic, eh, there, Grotus?
I'm gonna make that thing into an ashtray. That'll show it what derivative looks like. Piece of shit.
Derivative. All right. So we start out with at the top of the order with one of these gargoyles. It is currently kind of hovering in the air above you, and it moves towards you, Grotus, and comes down with its feet. Claws. There it is. Oh. Gotta target you. That might be good. Medium beasts. Oh, that's why. I was choosing the wrong one. Move you back. Move you over. Claws. Alright, that does hit, and its little stone claws come down, scraping at your head, doing a little bit of damage here. And it tries once more for its last action. And a miss on that one. Braz.
guess. And they're kind of up in the air. Is that correct?
Yeah, they are up in the air.
How high are they?
They're reachable with melee attacks, but they stay hovering in the air to try to stay above your heads. It's probably a little bit awkward for you as a goblin. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it would be within reach for you, just as being a short. So we have to come up with some other things that you're doing.
Okay, that's what I kind of figured. That's why I wanted to double check. So I guess then, I will prepare a bottled lightning, and then I'm gonna try to lob it, kind of in between them, but a little bit behind, just try to make sure that Grotus doesn't end up in the blast. Here. Okay. So attack first.
Oof.
And that did not work, so I'll use my third action to craft another one.
All right. Sounds good. Grotus.
Okay. So it's again, they're out of our reach for melee.
For you, they are in. I'm trying to think because it doesn't exactly say how high they are. They just fight hovering. I assume.
I'm just little. I'm like 3.
Yeah, I think they'd still be still be able to reach them with it might be a little bit more than usual, but you can still hit them.
Okay. So first action, go into stumbling stance. Next action is a flurry of fists.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Nice. Good time on the crits tonight.
Good rolls too.
Nice. Where have these been the whole time? Here they are. All right.
I can handle that.
A good
so that
strike.
Was 2 actions. I still have 1 left, I guess.
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. Then I guess what I can do is I'll take a 5-foot step back since everybody likes to throw their big, cool spells around. Maybe not be so close for now.
Good thinking.
All right. Sounds good. All right. The other of the gargoyles here. It hovers down in this direction towards this little fun bunch down here on the stairs. And it tries to swoop down at Maz here, attacking with his little claws. Missing. Tries once more. Does manage to hit that time. Dealing a bit of slashing damage to you, Maz. The stone, it's kind of rough on its claws. It cuts into your skin here, dealing you some pain. All right, Honker.
Yeah, I'm a honker. Will move up here for one of his actions or one of their actions, and then cast Phantom Pain on this one that's attacking Moz.
Okay. blast him. Alright, that succeeds on its save. Is that like a half damage on success type thing?
No, actually, this is a nasty one. It just means they don't get persistent damage. They still take full damage.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Alright, roll them up. Alright, a bit of damage on those from this phantom pain. Alright, anything else on your turn, Honker?
No, that's it.
Maz, you're getting beaten up a little bit. What are you doing? Chuck and hoop. Oop. I kind of hear you. Maz, you there? Maz? I am not sure if they are gone.
I think Maz went scuba diving. The sounds we're hearing.
Kind of. That's okay. I will go ahead and take care of Maz's hoop action here. Let's see. That's all we got, I think. Okay. Yeah, we can do that as well. All right. So for the first action, then we're going to lob an acid splash at this guy. Damn, critical miss on that one. Well, in that case, we're going to go in with the hoops. Can't quite reach, but we can chuck our hoops as we like to do. 1 with a hit. Very nice. And 2 with a miss. A little bit of damage in there. Doesn't seem to quite do as much damage as you would have expected to it. I mean, it is a rock, and this is a bladed hoop, so might not be quite the right combo there. Scorch. Oh wait, no. Scorch doesn't need to have his own separate thing. Oh, that's right. So this should have happened on your turn, Braz. Okay. Well, what is Scorch doing?
Right now I want Scorch to hang back. I don't want him breaking his little teethers on a stone gargoyle.
That is fair. That is fair. Scorch.
We don't have dental, so.
Scorch tries to just kind of stay close to you and protect. All right, medium beast. Let's see, this one's number 3. This one. Let's see. He kind of flies back a little bit. Oh, nope, she is asleep. Now I hear it. That's kind of, we were a little later than we had been recently. I was wondering if she was going to pass out. That's okay. We'll finish up here soon once we finish up this little fight here. All right. So this one moves back a little bit. Up towards Honker here, who would hit it with its this strange psychic pain here, and he tries to do a couple swipes in your direction. Not sure why that rolled twice, but they missed both times, so we'll call that good for both of its attacks. The other gargoyle here is going at Grotus. Moves up, flies a little closer to your head here, and takes a couple swipes. Wait, didn't that not do the persistent damage because it succeeded?
I was checking the spell slot, and so it showed up in chat.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure if you were putting it there just because of that. All right. Let's see. And a 1. And a miss. And a 2. And a miss. Nothing. Maz is asleep. But we'll just keep on keeping on with the hoops for Maz. And a 1. And a 2. Oof. And a 3. Damn. Misses across the board. Scorch still... Or wait, well, I guess Scorch goes on Braz's turn, so skip that. I just have that there so I can see its actions. Grotus.
Alright. Next is going to be another flurry, and it's going to be Stunning Fist Flurry.
Nice.
So he's going to have to make a DC Fortitude check against my class DC.
Okay. Sounds good.
And did he strike me with an unarmed attack with a melee attack since the last turn?
He tried, missed.
So never mind.
Dang, miss on that one. That's a hit, though.
And then he's got to make that Fortitude save.
Oh, right. Let's see. What is the Fortitude on these guys? Let's see. Fortitude. There it is. 23 on the Fortitude.
Pretty sure that does it.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see something else real quick here.
Okay.
Then, yeah, I'll just try to punch him again then.
Okay. All right. Raining fists onto this stone creature. You haven't quite gotten to the tier of fist break stone. You're doing a little bit, but not as much as you would like. Braz and Scorch.
Okay, so I'm gonna move up just a little bit closer so that I have a little bit better shot, and I'm gonna throw that prepared bottle of lightning.
Okay.
And I forgot last time I just looked up again that even if it fails, if it's got splash, they still take the splash damage. So
that's right. Yeah.
I put that on the one that missed, but that's okay.
That's okay. Well, I mean it's like 1 splash damage, right? I can.
No, because mine's actually higher because of a ability I have.
Oh, how much?
Flash. So it should have been 3.
3. Okay, sure. Let me fix that. All right, fire away.
Okay, so they will both still get that. So I will throw that on there.
All right.
And my last action, I will just go ahead and prepare another bottled lightning.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Honker.
Okay. Fuck him up.
Yep.
My Honker will I can't. I'm too stoned to come up with a stone joke. I'm Honker will use their blistering dad joke spell here on the critter in front of them.
Okay, it does succeed that save.
I'll use my hero point on that.
All right. It fails on that save. What is it? What effects do we got on this thing? Or damage?
This one I'll have to remember because this one's a little broken, so I'll have to
Okay.
work on it. So it'll be on failure, they're frightened 1, and then they'll take. This is the one we changed the damage to psychic on, so they'll take a persistent 2d6 psychic damage.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the 2d6.
I just have to drop it into chat because I don't have it built.
That's fine. I can put it on there manually. All right, so 9. All right, the psychic damage chipping away at these guys, so they're looking a little cracked. Which brings us to top of the order with this one right above your head. It tries to attack at you, Honker. Oh wait, no, it can't because it's frightened. That's right. Because frightened means it can't go after you, right? Let me double check what that does.
I don't think that's what that means. I think it just impacts some of their stuff. Let me double check.
Let's see. According to
Yeah, they can still attack me.
let's see. Oh, status penalty. Okay, that's right. Status penalty. Okay, that's right. Okay, so make sure that's targeting properly. See if it did the penalty right. Yes, looks like it did. That one hits. That bites at you for a decent bit of damage there, Honker, with its stone jaws. Attacks again with its claws for a little more. And its last attack, a critical whiff. Alright. The other one up here by Grotus does the same. A hit. And a miss. And a miss. Brazen Scorch.
Alright, gonna throw that bottled lightning again.
Okay. A hit and a miss. So go ahead and roll the damage for the hit. Okay.
And just the one. Will
Yeah.
get the splash. So if I do it, it should do that correctly. I would think, right?
I think so. If not, I could fix it.
I put it in both, but only number 3 was supposed to get the 3 splash.
Okay, I'll fix that.
Um.
Then the
I will craft another one and throw it again.
okay. Alright, so 3 and 3. Nice. Alright, I hit on one, miss on the other, so we'll do, let's see, another 3 on. Alright. Alright, well with the splash damage on those, that does enough to take both of these out. This bottled lightning crackling through this stone, it is too much for them to take. And they shatter into a little. Oh yeah, yeah, did the little blood splatters again? Because yeah, I guess it's when something gets status dying, it does a little splat. That's new.
Blood from a stone.
Blood from a stone. Somehow, indeed.
Don't question it. Just accept it.
All right, and you guys stand at the entrance to Aaron Tower here, and and the ground is still covered in this this moss that just kind of appeared out of nowhere. You can still hear somewhere above you something getting smacked. Some of you got a little bit roughed up there. Are we doing any medical treatment here? I know. I think Maz can.
I feel okay. I feel fan fucking tastic. Anybody else wants to go in front of me? I'm pissed off because if they keep chipping away at that crystal, they crack that shit. We're not getting our deposit back. We got to go cut that shit out.
All right. Let's see. I know Maz can do some healing with
I'm
medicine.
In medicine.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Well, Grotus and Honker and Maz got beat on a little bit. So let's see. We'll go ahead and roll. We'll have Maz treat Honker. Alright, that passes. I think, what was it, like 2d8s or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then when you're done, I'll do Grotus.
Okay, so Honker heals up for 11. I'll fix that for you, Honker. 26. That's a critical success.
So that's
I think.
more.
Yeah, I think it's is it an additional D8? Hold on, let me check.
I don't remember.
I'm looking. All right. Let's see. Medicine. Treat wounds. 4d8.
Beautiful.
Nice. Roll them up.
16.
16. All right, let's fix Grotus up
Almost all the
here. Almost all the way. All right, 5. Sounds good. And let's see. I'm just looking in here. And so with this, like, if you wanted to, you could do Maz as well, if you wanted to take the moment and do theirs. I don't think you can do it to yourself. I don't think.
I didn't get any hits.
Oh no, you can do yourself. You can target yourself. I just saw that in this in the Pathfinder stuff here.
Luckily, I don't need it.
Nice. What do we got? 23. Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll.
Don't I roll this good during battle?
I mean, rolling good during the healing is good too.
This is true.
Alright, 7. Fix that up here. Okay. Alright. So as we stand at the entrance to Aaron Tower here, we will call that good for today, and we'll get into the business with that next time. And Boz, I'll probably... Well, I think we'll figure out a way that you're in here somewhere, so we can get you in and into the fray with this bunch. So I'll take a look through the tower stuff here and see if I can figure out what would be a good place for you to be at that they could bust you out of or something. We'll see. But yeah, that will be that for today. And if you, I know you were sending me some stuff, Baza, but I will. If you do want to hang around a bit, I can take a look at what you're putting together so far, and we can try to get some stuff figured out. That's fine with me. Let me just get this 1 second here. All right. Thank you all for coming for another night of our Pathfinder campaign. Let me see if there's anybody I can raid us over to. Who's streaming tonight? I don't have any of my usual D&D people that are on right now. That's okay. We'll just call it good for now. And we'll see y'all next time. Whether that's raid tomorrow night for 14 or some more Marduk, we'll see. Have a good one.